been 2 years. I don't even want to.
Has it been 2 years?
I don't even want to process through the hate mail we've got. I don't even want to.
You know what? Somebody said, I ain't gonna believe it's real until I see y'all.
I see it for myself. And finally,
y'all gotta pull it up. I gotta be able to see.
After 2 years, here we are. Couch conversations. We back. Everybody just shout with me. We back. We back.
We back like we never left.
That was an interesting rendition. Sing it one more time.
We back like we never left.
I'm so glad that you are equally excited about the fact that we're finally back. Hello, everybody. I hope y'all are doing well. Happy Sunday night. But even beyond that, happy birthday. I feel like we need to give a song or two of happy birthday renditions, but
do today?
No. Cause y'all, I sang happy birthday to her earlier today. Everybody looked at me like I was dumb. They looked at me like I was crazy. Nobody wanted to get along with me. Everybody left me by myself trying to sing happy birthdays. No, I ain't doing that again. I ain't about to get embarrassed on these interwebs. Y'all be out here memeing them folks and stuff. No, it's not even my birthday. It's your birthday. Happy 43rd birthday. Wow. How does it feel to be like that old? I mean, like, when I say that old, what I mean is like that much older than me.
Don't get on here and be ugly.
I'm just asking, like, what does it feel like?
Because you're very close to 43.
No, I'm not nearly as close. You got me about like 2 years at least. How are your knees holding up?
Knees are not but this face is still
yeah, she traded her maid knees for Mary. she got Mary knees now. We are married now. Hey, God is good. God is good in us, right? Yeah. All right. So, Phineka, you asked us to come back for your 43rd birthday or house conversation. Why today? Why do you want to spend your day with everybody else on these interwebs?
Listen, I just feel like we might need a crash course. Not even a crash course, but a speed of just trying to catch people
up
of what has happened.
Okay.
Probably in the last 2 years.
We're gonna take it to the last year. Okay. You know, here's what we'll do. We'll give them your last year. Right? We'll make y'all hold on for a future conversation. It's gonna take a lot of couch conversations. You'd like to catch up 2 years, but what we can do is catch y'all up with 2022. Now, y'all remember how everybody came into 2022 like dancing, excited. Y'all were excited to be in a new year. Everything felt like it was like really, really amazing. Everybody was hyped. Our 2022 started like with the best of times and the worst of times simultaneously. I'm gonna let you just talk a little bit about that from your side.
I guess I kind of felt like our life was in the dichotomy of almost like a contradiction of itself, right? In one aspect, it felt like we were winning over here. And then on this side, it felt like we were taking a lot of losses. Especially for me personally, I just felt like I was getting blow after blow after blow. But on top of getting blow after blow, it was like the Lord was still showing his hand and he was still blessing. And so I was conflicted, right? Because I did not know really how to grieve because I felt guilty in one moment because this was happening, right? But then I felt like, but we're seeing, look what the Lord is doing over here. Look what he's doing with our church. Look what he's doing in our ministry where so many thought we were out. They had kind of counted us out. And to see what the Lord was doing as we transitioned and with belong, and it's like, okay, this is amazing. But then grief set in.
So let's bring everybody up to speed. What is grief? How did grief first hit you?
Well, I got a text message from my one and only sister and told me that my biological mother was found in her apartment dead. And this was in March, in April going to, in February going to March. And for those of you who know our story or don't know, so let me just do just for those who don't, my mother and I were estranged. I can maybe count in one hand, maybe how many times we had saw her since I've been married. I would, try to reach out. We would stay in touch, and we wouldn't, drugs, alcohol, those things led us, taken away and moved in with my grandmother. And so we were pretty much estranged, but still getting the news about my mother rocked me in a way, right? 2 weeks to the day. So let me back up. We go to her house. We fly to Mobile. And y'all, I remember hearing this message. What we say a lot of times when we think people hurt us or done us wrong, and we're saying, they go on about their life. They living their life, and I'm sitting here stuck, and all this here I'm going through, and they go on about their life, and they ain't thinking about me, they ain't worried about me. And I said, we get to her apartment, and in an hour and a half, we pack up her whole life. Her whole life. 60-some years of life, I was able to pack it up and discard it in an hour and a half. And I say that to say, here I painted this picture as if she was living this lavish life away from me. That I was missing out on all of this wonderfulness. She must have been living and didn't think about me and didn't care about, And here it was. Well, her life had been reduced down to an honest apartment that I was literally able to pack up in an hour.
And I thought, like, even in that process, I think that the thing that was most interesting, we just catch y'all up to speed while y'all haven't seen us this year. We promised to come back top of this year, and there's just been so much that happened. I'll never forget the response. It was almost I don't want to call it a stoic face. It was almost like, in some aspects or some respects, almost like shell shock. We found a picture of Phineka the day before she gave birth to Ashriel. And it was, in essence, really the last memory or strong memory in those regards, for at least from the photo perspective, that you even remember having with her from your mom. You didn't know she had. So, end of February, we are hit with her mom's transition. Okay. Now, 2 weeks. I want y'all to track with me. 2 weeks later. 2 weeks. Wait, 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later. Well, in between the 2 weeks, we're talking about selling our home.
Now that's the truth. That's the time and the worst of time.
We're talking about selling our home in these 2 weeks. Okay, from my mother transition, we're talking about selling our home. We found a home. I say it's my dream home. And put a bid in on it. Somebody came in, offered cash. I lost the house. Same day. The realtor said, don't worry, we'll find you something. We get in the car. She said, it's just a few miles from this one. So don't be crying about it. We're going to find you something better. We come and find a house that's just 6 more. Ain't even a roof on the house. And we said, this is our house. We're in the process of someone want to look at our house, the current house that we were staying in. And my father passes away 2 weeks to the day of my mother. For those of you who know my story with my father, I started off being a daddy's girl. And I always have to say that because my father and I's relationship was different than my mother. And my father became sexually abusive and verbally abusive. And it was to such a degree where I was told I could not have children medically because of the trauma. And when I got the call, we jump in the car, we get to Birmingham, and we're trying to find room. And he passed away. I go in the room, and I was very shocked by my response. And I want to just say to somebody while we're doing this couch conversation, because my biggest struggle was, why am I affected this way? I was stoic with my mother. Why am I affected this way by somebody who did these things to me? Is it Stockholm syndrome? What is wrong? Why am I being affected? And I was like, now I'm left here to have to bury my mother. I'm having to bury the man that did this, And then I had to sit with it. Was like, it wasn't always bad. And so then I was angry with myself because I was embarrassed to grieve, because it was almost if I said, if I'm grieving him, do it excuse what it is that he did. So I did not even know how to grieve that properly.
Yeah.
Because I was stuck with, this is what happened.
Yeah.
This is how I feel. And why am I crying about someone that's labeled as an abuser? I'd like to talk for a little while and get my
So all of this, and just catch y'all up, let's get out another turn to take.
Yeah.
All of this happens within the span of less than right at 2 weeks, from the end of February to the beginning of March. We are grieving not the loss of one parent, but the loss of two. And what all that does, both mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, like how that affects every part of not just who Phineka is as we see her today, but even reaching to the childhood of Phineka, and how these major moments, these major transitions they've been a lot. So while we have laughed a lot, and while those laughs were genuine, and while we've smiled a lot, and you all have seen it on screen, you've seen it online, the truth is there have been moments of what I would just call very intense or intentional healing, or attempts to move in that direction. Not just for Phineka, but for the whole house, because truth is, Phineka is like the cornerstone of this household. Everything moves based on the feeling that, and you'll all see her all the time. That's why y'all have fallen in love with her. Y'all see her big personality, and what you all see is what we get as well. And so to have to experience Phineka in back-to-back grief, and as a husband wanting to be the fixer, but there's nothing for me to fix. It's all in some very challenging situations, both our hearts and our minds, trying to be sure that, one, she was good, but also even beyond that, that our family as a whole stayed very solid, sound, and grounded.
Because I was grieving as well an ending that I knew was never going to come. That was probably the toughest.
Yeah.
We have in our mind, we're ministers of the gospel.
Sure.
Right? We preach reconciliation, and we preach all of these things, right? And I mean, you be in churches and they say, get that one unsaved loved one in your mind and call their name out, And I would be just crying, saying, God, this is what you're going to do to reconcile my family.
Sure.
And when it did not happen like that, it also threw me in a place to grieve what never would be.
Yeah.
As it pertained to the relationship with my mother and the relationship with my father. And in the midst of that, 2 days after my father transitioned, someone offers to buy a home.
Yes.
Above costs.
So like, I cannot really put into words with the best of times and what it really means. Like we are in UAB hospital and we bring her grandmother back with us.
Yeah.
And we're literally having to make room for her because we're about to show our house and try to sell it. And 2 days later, our house sells above market value, and we're smiling and crying simultaneously.
Yeah.
Now, here is the cherry on top. And I'm only going to go into a portion of it, but here was the cherry on top of all this. All right. How many of you all that I just by in the comments just let us know? How many of you all have been following our adoption journey? Like, drop something in the chat real quick. If you have been watching, been waiting, you have been walking with us on this whole journey.
Let me see. Who in the chat?
I'll have many. You
ain't got to pull it up. You ain't got to pull it up.
So you've been walking with us on this journey, right? So just let somebody else in the chat know you've been walking with us, right? End of March, beginning of April, right? End of March.
Girls, spring break.
We were on spring break with the girls. Phineka's in Charlotte with the girls. I'm gonna give y'all this. I'm gonna give a high level. Well, I'll give high level. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina. We get a call.
No. Let's go back. I'm in Charlotte.
Okay. You're in Charlotte with the girls. I'm flying in. Right?
Yes, sir.
I'm flying in. We get a call. Again, I'm just gonna go high level. I'm gonna sweep it real high. We get a call from a good friend of ours who was asked if they want to adopt children. They didn't want any more children. And they said that they were looking for a family that wanted to adopt twin boys.
Yeah.
Twin boys, right? Now, something we have been praying for. Phineka calls me as soon as the plane hit the ground, Phineka on the hunt.
No, I text you and said 911.
Well, no. She probably did text me, but I did not see the text. First thing I got was a phone call. And she was like, don't ask any questions. I need you to, as soon as you get off the plane, I need you to call this lawyer, and I need you to call this lawyer. Here's this great opportunity. Here's what's happening. We'll have to talk about it later, but I need you to we just need to go for it, right? So I get off the plane. I talk with the lawyer, and the lawyer kind of spills the situation to us, what's happening, what's going on, all that good stuff. We have our file ready to go. We submit our file while I'm in the airport. While I'm driving in the Uber to meet Phineka at Great Wolf Lodge. Within an hour of getting to Great Wolf Lodge, the lawyer was calling us back and telling us that the mother had picked our family to take the twin boys.
Now this is like 9 o'clock at night.
No, it was later than that.
No. When I get the first
you got the first call, yeah.
They said we had to 9:45 to submit our paperwork.
Yeah.
Your flight didn't land to 9:15.
Yep.
And let me just also say this. We were in the Carolinas. We never go to that Great Wolf Lodge. We only go to the one in Georgia. This time I said, I don't know, I just want to go to this one. My best friend lives there. We're going to go there. You fly on in, blah.
All that's important because she was giving birth in South Carolina, right? So we were already in fairly close proximity to get there once she chose us. Now, put another layer on top of this, and I'm sure we'll unpack more at a later time. Adoptions are not cheap. They are not cheap, right? There's nothing cheap about it. And that's just going with one child. Going with 2 children, it was double the price of what a normal adoption would be. Our good friends said to us, because at this point, we had put all the money, all of our liquid money had been put into this home. So I had sunk a solid amount of money to get this project started here, and I just didn't have it readily available. our good friends said to us, we believe in what God has said and what God is telling you all concerning this. And they sowed the seed to open up the door to even make the adoption possible. Like they sowed one seed to open the door to make it possible, right? We drive to South Carolina.
On faith.
Literally on faith.
Because of this time, the deposit even came through.
So
and the people were so on faith with us, they weren't even really supposed to tell us where to go until they got the money.
Yep.
We said we know they in the camp. We drive.
Yep.
We going to get these, baby. Y'all, I'm in a hotel room. I done done the full day with the kids at the park. He comes in. We literally pack up to leave to get on the road.
We left our kids at Great Wolf Lodge.
We left.
I don't know who got it.
I called my best friend who actually lived 5 minutes away. I said, I'm leaving my kids. Boo wasn't even with us. It was just the three little. I want y'all to understand this. We were so overwhelmed. Yeah. We prayed with our kids, told them what was happening. We called Boo, we cried, we kissed, and we said, we'll see y'all, and hopefully your godmama show up. Don't leave this room. It's food. Here go a credit card. This is true. This is true. Here's a credit card. This is how y'all eat. This is how y'all feed yourself. But when we come back, when we see y'all again, we would be with the babies.
So this was a Wednesday. We drive up on the Wednesday. We drive down to South Carolina. We meet with the mother, have, just great conversation. Just everything was just really, really solid. She gives birth by cesarean that same day. Probably 2 hours after she gave birth, they bring the boys into the room with us. And so we name the boys, and we
get the bracelet. They put the bracelet on me. Yep. They give us the room and said, y'all take the time with the room. She had to already turn her medical over to the power of attorney. We had already called to add insurance. I want y'all to understand, like this is a real thing. Insurance. So if you've been following, you know I had done this nursery, right? I started getting to a place where my faith started to wane, and I said, I can no longer walk past this room with this stuff, right? In December, I dismantled the whole nursery. I gave literally everything away in December. Yep. In March, here come these babies. Yep. And I said, Lord, are you being funny right now? I literally have given away 2 ribs. I given away everything. Y'all, I'm in the room. We're calling everybody. Yep. We're showing the babies. We're crying and they're praying. So my friend sent 2 car seats to Target. The pediatrician come in. Y'all got the car seats. We leave the hospital. We go get the car seats. We come back. We give baths. We change the baby clothes. All the whole 9 yards for 2 days.
So Thursday, we're at the hospital all day with the babies and the mother. Friday, Phineka's at the hospital all day with the babies.
You're trying to handle the legal.
Handling all the other stuff on the other end.
Yeah.
Saturday morning, we're supposed to sign all of the paperwork to sign the boys over to us and start a new life. Yeah. And we get to the hospital Saturday morning.
No, we get a call.
We get a call from our lawyer Saturday morning.
Yeah, saying wait before you come because the father is showing.
Yes. Yeah. And in essence, I'm going to fast forward. We sat in a hospital parking lot for 6-7 hours, waiting for someone to call us up to come and get the boys, all that good stuff.
We ran.
Yeah, literally.
We walking in. We standing outside the window.
We're texting the mother saying, hey, we just want you to know we're out here. If there's anything we can do, doing everything that we can.
Small hospital, we going in and go to the bathroom. They're saying, y'all here to pick up your boys?
Yes. Like everybody, they knew us at that point as the ones coming to adopt the boys. We finally decide to go get something to eat, and we haven't heard anything from anyone all day. Phineka's obviously discouraged. I'm standing in faith. I'm it's just one of those hiccups. It's one of the things that happen right before the end. We're not going to give up faith. We called all those in our circle, just kind of let them know what to pray through. We're out to eat lunch, Texas Roadhouse, and the lawyer calls while we're at lunch and says the mother changed her mind. And that was the hardest call to hang up on, because I knew the moment I hung up, I was going to have to communicate to my wife the promise we had and thing we felt like we had prayed for was not going to be as we thought. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I watched my wife grieve her mother. I watched my wife grieve her father. I'm not sure that I heard a cry as deep, even in those two deeply loving situations, a cry as deep as I did when we finally got home and she was able to crawl into her space and bury her head in her pillow. And
because listen, we had 2 car seats in the car.
Yeah, and we had to ride home with 2 car seats in the car.
Y'all, that day I went on Amazon. I reordered literally everything that I had given away.
Yeah.
I was doing Prime, so it would be diapers and milk, and I went on Etsy, and everything was with their names. Y'all know my Braxton and Jackson, baby. I had their names all over everything. Yeah. I had ordered all of these things, and not only did we come home, I came home to literally a full porch of diapers.
I mean, when I say diaper, trays,
twin bassinet.
I mean, you name it, it was there. And what made that part, to your point, even worse was even the days following, there were still deliveries coming for a promise we would never get to put our hands on. Like we were still having to get changing tables that were being delivered. But they could order monogram stuff off Etsy that was coming. I was literally spaces throughout our house so that when it came, she would go even beyond that. When the girl made it home, we didn't tell them over the phone. When they finally make it home and they're like running, where are the boys? The toughest conversation was to look 4 kids in their eyes and say to them, Daddy's sorry. Mom is sorry. We thought it was going to be it, and it just didn't work out. My kids thought I was playing a practical joke on them. They know I'm a jokester. I love to laugh. They thought I was playing a practical joke on them. It took them, it shell shocked to the point that even since the school year has began, Lael is still grieving aspects of what we lost and what she dreamed to be as a big sister and not being the young and all of that stuff and the desire to have babies in the house.
Yeah. I mean, it was amazing. In 2 days, we had talked about prom.
Yeah.
We talked about first day of school. We talked about them losing teeth. We went to the store and literally argued about outfit.
We did.
I had this little head with ducks and little buddy cars.
Girl, you lost your mind.
We're calling Pastor AD. And I'm about to sit this here Fendi and Gucci. I said, the baby don't fit. Like in 2 days, it was crazy the way we began. We in the state. I had lost 2. It seems so easy. Yeah. It happened if you think about it, I want y'all to understand how many bands it takes to get the tens of thousands. Okay, the tens of thousands. Okay, and for all of this, somebody say, "I believe in y'all," and it felt like this has to be my heart. And then the next day, someone called out from work at the boutique. I have to go straight to work. Put on a smile and welcome to Phineka boutique. So the toughest part of this is that reality of
when your heart is broken and when you're grieving, life don't stop life.
Life don't.
Life, it don't stop life.
I didn't have the luxury.
Sure.
To lay in my bed and cover my head.
Even though we wanted you to.
Even
we just, when I tell y'all, like, I felt like there came from points. I don't know if y'all remember, if y'all were Cosby Show people. Like, I was the Cosby Show guy. I love the Cosby. There goes the episode where Claire came and told Cliff, I got nothing left to give. I felt like we were living. I've got nothing left to give, but still having to find something to give. Anyway, and it was. This has been the most interesting year.
And guess what? I because I did not know really what to do. I'm not even hungry. This is what is happening? And I was like, are you trying to eat your food? What is it? And I said, oh my God, this is depression. Because a lot of times you try to say, I'm gonna just snap myself out of this, right? Because then I started trying to talk myself out, like, well, Lord, I try to over spiritualize. Do we not do that? I started saying, well, Lord, you answered it. You said we would get twins. We did. For 2 days. God, you're amazing, right? I'm gonna try to reduce this grief down to and over spiritualize it and say, but God, you did what you said. How many? I want y'all to tell me in the chat. How many of y'all have had a disappointment, but you get in this place where you try to over spiritualize your disappointment, and that's really where I was. So I was delayed at grieving because I was having all these type of pseudo type of healing. I tried to eat my feelings away, then I tried to get real deep and real spiritual and say, well, Lord, could you do all these blessings that we had? Like I was trying to tell myself anything in order to, to heal.
Yeah. So this is where we are. This is what the year has been, and it's been a year. I'm grateful that I guess the best way we can say is that we were trusted to go through, everything that we've gone through and all of the interesting turns that this year has taken. But it's been a very interesting one. And so now here we are, middle of November. We made it through the summer. We then got new spaces and
therapy
and all that great grand stuff. Here we are today, and we wanted to just kind of bring y'all up to speed with where we are, and where our family is, and how well we somehow have been able, really by the grace of God, to just kind of bounce back from what all this has been, the tumultuous nature of 2022, the best of times, the worst of times, but watching God still be good in and through it all, right? But it also goes to say that I don't think God takes you through the type of things that he takes you through just for you. I think anytime God allows us to conquer milestones, mountains, overcome very challenging and disheartening situations, it's never about just you as an individual. It's about the opportunity God will give you to give what you got back to somebody else, right? That there are lessons that grow us, there are seasons that challenge us, but ultimately they always show up for us to be able to pour that back into the lives of others. I'm gonna say this real quick, that this woman has been an absolute champion this year. Like I don't even know. I don't know how she has kept her sanity. I don't, except God be in it. I don't know how anything that good that has happened has actually happened unless God was in it. So I am grateful that she has somehow kept things together. Our lives didn't crumble and things did not fall apart, and we still here. Like I could dance on that alone.
Listen,
I can even
listen. When you said kept my mind, I literally had to sit here and say, don't tear this little mic and this stuff up. Now, listen, I'm talking about you know they would laugh about the mothers, church mothers that would kept my mind or he healed me, and they would holler thank you, and we would laugh, and my grandma would say, you just keep on it. This situation, I can't even hardly hear the word mind and kept in the same sense without almost passing clean out, because I really understood. I really saw a different side of God that I had never seen before. To experience that type of loss in such a short amount of time, and it killed my mind through it all.
So I don't want you all to think that like the highlights you all have seen on IG, the laughing, the smiling, the boutique stuff with the kids, like all this stuff has been real. It's been authentic. It has been the highlights, the amazing highlights of how good our year has been. Amana's probably had her best year with asthma that we've had in a while. A couple hiccups, nothing serious. They changed schools. Lele has still been cheering like a maniac, and London is still is now our club volleyball player. And Amana's got her first basketball game of 2022 in a matter of days. Like it's been really good. And Asriel is graduating this year. Like we got a whole high school singing. It has been really good. But a lot of times when you don't see people show up in certain spaces, there's always a thought of like, what happened? Or why hasn't this been what we thought it was going to be? Or why did they stop making couch conversation? Life was literally just been life. And we just gave y'all 2022. So literally been life in 2022. But what I am very grateful, probably more than I could ever put into words, is that this woman did not give up. So like this 43rd birthday couch conversation is in one aspect a celebration of your tenacity, your consistency. We gave y'all like the clip notes, highlights, if you will. Like y'all, we didn't give it all to you. We gave you enough for you to be able to have something. But the truth of it is she has overcome so much in just this year. And I couldn't miss the opportunity to celebrate all that God has done in you. So I would, if all these cameras weren't going, I would stand to you. Your wig is intact.
Jeez.
God is good. Curl up your comment. He is faithful to perform everything that he said. Now, so with all of that, we know we're on the brink of 2023, and New Year's mean new things. We are right now in the middle. We're 3/4 of the way through the project of building out our podcast studio in our basement. So we're going to have our own studio space where it may not be on a couch, but it'll still be called Couch Conversation. We're going to talk like we would be on the couch, so we'll be able to give you all more content more regularly going into next year. So I'm really excited about that. But even beyond our ability to do couch conversations, here's one thing that I know. I'm going to let her talk about it. One thing I know is that there is something in Phineka Clavette Harris frame that when she speaks, it ministers healing to the heart and lives of everybody she comes into contact with. I don't know if it's possible to be in her presence, to feel her hug, her touch, her hey baby, in a way that only Phineka can. I don't know if it is possible to feel her presence and not be deeply impacted. There are women right now, some of y'all probably know right now, that have already formulated in your mind that Phineka friend is your best friend. Like, just go ahead and drop an emoji real quick, drop something in the chat. Like, if you really feel like in your mind, in your head, she is the full embodiment of everything that you would want to do or say, and just she just doesn't care. She's never worn the title of first lady in the sense of it restricting her and who it is she's called to be. She has always been authentically her. Phineka has always been the one that will be in one wig one day, and another wig the same day, and probably a third one within a matter of, you give her enough time, she may have 3 or 4 wigs on. Just depending on what the day looks like and what we got going on. She said this is her third one for the day, actually. So in any given day, she can it can be can go in duplicity, a multitude of ways. But she's always been her authentic self. I think what, and I'm gonna let you go into this, but I think that what has given her the ability to win the hearts of people more than anything else is it's just authentic. Like, what you see is what you get. People will steamroll over me, but they will love her. When I tell you they will love this woman to the end, I mean, I will get steamrolled. Hear me. I will get blackballed, kicked out, kicked to the curb. They will, only my girls stick with me. All my girls stay beside me. If it ain't my girl, they're like, well, what did you do to her? You know, what happened? Even my own daddy, the man that birthed me, the man who, well, let me not go too far, the man that gave me life will choose her over me. Told me today that she could move back to Huntsville, but I couldn't. You know, like, everybody that embraces her falls in love with her. But what I've also watched is Phineka can be in a moment of just that would be humorous, and out of humor, wisdom exudes. Like, she can be laughing about something. She can be laughing with somebody about something, and out of a moment of laughter, wisdom just starts to overflow, and she'll just say something that would seem so simple, but for some, it just like a light bulb all of a sudden comes on.
You know, I think ultimately, this season, this year, was designed by hell to Muslim. I remember, if you remember, a year or so ago, I did a challenge called Find Your Voice. And I talked about how trauma and the effects of trauma would be the thing that kind of stifle our, just kind of mute us and muzzle us. And I remember somebody saying, they calling for you to preach. Do you think you'll preach again? And I said, I don't know. I don't think I ever stand on the stage and preach it. He said, you ever think you'll do it? Don't think I ever stand in a space to say anything again. Because trauma just developed in such a way until it just seemed like my voice did this, until I didn't even like the sound of my voice. And as I began to walk this journey with God, after I stopped faking my healing, over spiritualizing what has happened to me this year, and really setting my stuff, really started to unpack it. I was so mad. Y'all, this man called a therapist. I was so angry. I said, you don't think I know God? You don't think I can pray? You don't think I know how to pray? To get this up off me? He said, yeah, but when the God, your mind. Y'all told that, and I gave myself 2 weeks. After that, I don't cry about nothing else. This is how I came into therapy. I was so, that lady was looking at me like this. I said, let me tell you how this going. Sugar. I cry about something for 2 weeks. I don't cry about it another time after the 2 weeks. Y'all, I was still crying. He said,
and still till last week.
He said,
till last week, this week.
He said, do you understand that? Wow. I had to step across.
And let me just say this. I know one set of cameras were on YouTube. We're on IG right here, so we're gonna wave at everybody on IG real quick.
You got IG up too.
IG is up too. So, but here's what I'll say to that. I'm coming back to your stuff, but there is a space where I don't care how strong you are, you're still a human being. Like you still have real feelings, you still have real emotions, you still have real burdens that you shoulder and that you carry.
But has the church made us feel that there's something wrong with our faith if when things like this hit us, we don't shake it off and say, we trust God, right?
I think in some respects, I won't even say the church. I would just say there are aspects of humanity. You know, family will do it to you, make you feel like you're just supposed to bounce back real quick and like stuff, all right, we'll shake it off, better not cry. You know, there are things that, you know, we are taught and programmed to do early on to derail the grieving process even before we introduce fully into what I would consider to be the institution of the church. But with that, with what you're saying, we do often hear it preached, and we've heard it danced over and shouted about. That, like, you know, we even say, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy coming in." You know, so you gonna.
Well, how many mornings?
Yeah, absolutely.
What night? The night in 1-6. What night?
Absolutely.
When is the joy?
Absolutely.
What morning? Yeah.
So with that, here's what I'll say. One, I am year 43 at this term. I'm proud of you. Good, challenging, everything in between. What you have shown our family and what you've shown our girls is a level of resilience, even when you wanted to quit.
Yeah.
A level of strength by still finding a way to show up. A level of vulnerability, because there have been days we have sat at the kitchen table and you have very plainly shared with the girls your heart and where you are and all of those things. And I think that it's given them the ability to know that it's okay to not be okay. Yeah. And it's okay to cry, and sometimes not even know why you're crying, but there's still tears around. But I believe that there is another layer of wisdom that your heart, life, mind has been given that is going to help so many more along on their journey.
So I before I even announce, I will say this. What the enemy tried to do with taking my voice, it turned out to be the thing that started to heal. I went into this place of worship and intercession like I never had before. I would literally just be in the shower, in my car, just any chance I got. And I was just singing praises to God, and healing little by little began to take place. But this was a turning point between me and God. I was talking something about my father, and I said, man, I'm in charge of burying somebody that tried to break me. And I said, I can't reconcile. This is all I was saying. I can't reconcile how they put their responsibility on me. I'm picking this suit, picking caskets, picking the day of the week, like I'm picking all of this stuff for somebody. Right, this is what I'm saying. I can't believe that I'm in this situation. And the Lord came in one day, really, really still and really quiet, and He said, "But look what you were able to do, because what you thought was going to break you did not." It was as if healing overtook that room, that in turn overtook me. And I began to shift my perspective on how I view that whole situation. Like I can stand here and pick a casket of something that tried to kill me. Look at me, still standing. After being an orphan before I was an orphan. I was an orphan before I was an orphan. So you already know how to deal in this. You was an orphan before you was an orphan. Now you have it here to live by. They weren't in your life.
Yeah.
And so you're sitting grieving something that they wasn't to you. But when the Lord began to deal with me about, look what you're able to stand and do, because what was designed to crush you, break you, kill you, could not. So let me just say for somebody that's on this live here and on this live here, look at you. You're getting up every morning. You put one foot in front of the other. You sitting there breathing. You think I'm going to waste this breath that the Lord gave me another day, saying I'm going to be stuck in this room with this voice and with this breath that you gave me. I see it's time for me to speak again. So guys, I decided to open my books back up. I have been preached
Pre-pandemic.
Yeah,
in 2 years. A little over 2 years.
and everything in me said, you'll never do it again. I said, I wasn't gonna do a mentorship. Guess what? Heal Her is coming back. I have so many things in my heart that I want to share. And let me tell you how God began to confirm that thing. Y'all, I ain't opened my books till yesterday. I have 3 engagements. One is international. I was like, wait, what? He was like, yep. One of them how many people you ready? Trinidad, Pennsylvania, and what is it, Colombia? And like I said, y'all, it's just been open one day. But it was
unannounced. You didn't even say it.
But I believe it was a sign to me.
Absolutely.
And just like the Lord gave me a sign, I believe that He's going to do that with you. But I believe that through these transitions of so much that I've been through in just 2022, I want you to partner alongside with me. And I just want you to allow me to help you just kind of unpack and let's kind of talk this thing through. Y'all know you did Heal Her the first round. Let me know in the chat. I can't see it, really got my phone, but I'm gonna go back and read it. So let me know in the chat if I had 667 ladies in Heal Her. I was only believing God for 150.
And this time, if we're honest, we're not opening up for nearly that many people.
No.
This will be
Yes.
because of the nature of what Phineka has on her heart that she wants to share and build out. We have opened up 100 slots for this next Heal Her Heart and Soul Intensive. And how long is this one going to go on?
So this one is going to be 3 months.
Okay.
But with this one, we will be meeting every week.
Every week. For how many weeks? 9 weeks?
For 9 weeks.
Okay.
And then,
Yes.
and then we're going to come back and do a live.
Don't give the date. Go ahead.
I can't give the date.
Don't give the date.
Okay, I already got the date. I'm coming back and doing a live one. I'm talking about a full day. I'm talking about we're going to start at morning glory and we're going to go all the way to the nighttime. And like I already have people confirmed, but my husband is shaking his head at me and he's telling me that I cannot. Y'all, some of the people that I have confirmed. But I will say, I'm so excited that Heal Her is coming back in January. We're gonna open it up tonight.
We're gonna open it tonight. Yep.
Once we get off of here, I'm gonna post it on my social medias. I'm only taking 100
folks.
ladies.
100.
Okay, I did 667 last time. I'm reducing it all the way down to 100 ladies.
Yeah.
And I just want to really share some things that has been on my heart. I hope you all are in the 100. And listen, tell a friend, tell a cousin, tell a auntie. Y'all know how I do. So I'm excited.
I think the beauty of what gets to happen this time is what you all will have the opportunity to capture, what you'll have the opportunity to see. I'll give this a little bit. Like the very session number one is actually starting off with a live counseling session. Like you're going to see live a counseling interaction with Phineka and a licensed therapist that is going to start processing through not just where her 2022 has been, but where for many of you all, your 2022 was, and some spaces of your life have been. And then on the other side of that, she's got guests lined up several of those weeks to help navigate you all through your heart and your soul to arrive at a place of wholeness. And I think Phineka's probably more excited, just as excited about the one day that she's going to be doing to culminate this all. So there's going to be a big one day event, and it's going to be well worth it. Hear me as I say it, it's going to be well worth it. So tonight, for those of you all that are on, everybody shout it with me, tonight. You all are first in line, one, to not just hear about this, but you're first in line to be able to get in that 100. Right now, you can go to PhinekaFriend.com. PhinekaFriend.com. And on her website, you're going to find all of the information. You'll be able to see if this is for me. You're going to get a whole rundown of what all this 9-week mentorship is going to entail. So you'll see if it's for you. There's spaces where you'll be able to even see the testimonies of women who have walked through mentorship with Phineka and how their lives have changed and been better. Then you'll just have an opportunity to register, and it's really, really easy. Tonight, we're probably making the registration easier than it's going to be. Phineka wanted to do something special for her birthday. We had certain investment points that were carved out for this. Phineka was like, no, I want this to be tangible for the 100 that want to get in. And so for what is about to be offered, I had price points that were significantly different than what Phineka has asked us to be sure that this is available at. And so I want you to understand that there are things that are going to come along with this mentorship that I believe are going to help change not just the trajectory of your life, but help you reframe what you would call your trauma. And from what's going to do from her heart to yours, both through professional aspects and just wisdom and life aspects, I believe are going to help you get to your next place. Now, do you give homework? Yes. You give a lot of homework? No, not a lot.
No, but it'd be tough homework.
Okay, so
soul,
you give soul
searching
work. You give
soul
work. You give soul work. Okay, so there's going to be homework every week, right? And there are going to be private groups that you.
It'll be a private group where we're gonna be able to encourage one another. We'll be able to talk every week. They'll tell you, even sometimes I just get on there, if something hit me in the middle of the day, I get on there and just get on, and get on there and get to talking.
So you get the 9 scheduled lines.
Yeah.
But even beyond that, you're going to get some sessions with her that are going to be some impromptu stuff. Again, you go to Phineka Friend, Phineka. I feel like a little usher now. Phineka Friend. PHINEKAFRIEND.
I'm Sadie. I'm sorry. JESUS is the best.
I'm sorry. Go to PhinekaFriend.com and register tonight. For me, this is probably the best birthday. If you want to give a birthday gift, I think if there was something coming from her, it would be the gift of investing in yourself to ensure that your 2023 is going to look completely different than any other year in your life. So I'm excited. There goes another thing on there. Now, Now, I'm going to give y'all another little seed. Since we're couch conversation, I'm going to give y'all another little seed. This spring, this summer, I am committing to taking on a few couples for us to do a marriage intensive together. This will be some premarital, and this will be some current marriage. We're going to do a marriage intensive together. All right.
Look at you.
And I think we may even end our marriage intensive with a big hoorah.
Because we did one, and it was
We've done one. I think we may end that with a big hoorah.
We gonna hold it too.
Okay. There are what y'all don't see is there are always 97 irons in the fire on my end. So the reason why I cannot just jump in the way that I probably need to, part of it's probably been a little bit of fear, I'll be honest with you. But the other part of it is everything that this one starts, I got to be sure she pushes it to the best of her abilities and she never feels alone as she does it. So my commitment has been to support what's in her, to be sure she has space to fully be Phineka friend and to offer Phineka friend to the world. But what I promised her that we will do together this spring, going into the summer, is we're gonna do a marriage piece together. So y'all will get more couch conversations. Y'all gonna get some marriage stuff together, and we want to know even what I am committed to 2023. Being the year that we put ourselves out there for you all the more. You all ask, y'all be in our DMs, y'all be in our inboxes, and we've let life, and life gonna keep life. But while they're in life, so we're gonna keep giving you all everything that God has put in us. So again, tonight there's only 100 people. There's 100 people that we're taking in. She'll probably keep registration open for the next month or so, tops. But I want you, if you are interested, and tonight it's an initial deposit, an initial investment that you can make. If you go and register at phinekafriend.com, go ahead and do it tonight. And I promise you, she'll be leaking out some little goodies along the way as we go through this. But I promise
I'm leaking one tomorrow.
It's going to be well worth it. All right, we've been on right at an hour. All right, is there anything else you want to say for your birthday? You gave the lows. You've been in the valley of the shadow of death. You ain't fearing no evil. You know what I mean? You've come out better than you went in. You're still fine, gorgeous if I would, stunning if I could. Just pray. Good morning, gorgeous. Good morning, gorgeous.
That was really gonna do this.
So is there anything else you want to share with us that you're grateful for at age 43?
I'm telling y'all, I can't say it. That's what I'm grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't deep. It ain't that woman. I really thought you girl was out here. That's right. And to step over into 43, and to see all that the Lord has done, that is what I am most excited about. And that's why I'm excited about taking 100 of you along with me, because y'all be in DMs, and I've heard about your year, and I want to help you come out on the other side, and we're going to do it together. Because y'all know one thing, it's going to always be raw, and it's going to always be real. Because whatever we do that, honey, I'm going to show y'all the real story, and I'm going to lay it all out on the tables. And y'all know that's the only way.
Y'all flip those tonight. Yeah. Now, I'm going to commit to this. Don't get mad. We'll get y'all another couch conversation for 2022. We're gonna come back with another. For this year's out, y'all will get at least one more couch conversation. We have had questions about the managing transition and how life has settled.
Transition.
We've got 3 videos out there already on managing transition. One thing we may talk about is what it means to settle into a new normal. When your life has faced disruption and now you are dealing with what you got left. And sometimes it feels like you got ruins left.
Yeah.
How you make the best out of the little bit you got left, right? And how do you manage what your new normals are? So there are pieces we got to do this through podcasts with. There's so much. Listen, there's so much that I feel like we got to offer you all, and that we've got to share. But I am glad to have those of you that are going to come along on this side of the journey. I'm already glad to have you on.
Yeah.
So again,
PhinekaFriend.com. All right. Go to PhinekaFriend.com. All the information is there. Okay. I'm about to post it as soon as we get off of this live.
so we'll also say happy birthday to you, gorgeous. Happy birthday to you, gorgeous. Happy birthday.
Good night.
We love y'all. See y'all soon.